Friends, we have a very specific image in our mind about the formation of our universe. We know that universe is filled with these nice spiral galaxy type structures, and then there is one galaxy followed by a void. There is nothing in between, and then there is another galaxy. So this universe is divided into these chunks of these islands of life where the stars are born, and billions of stars come together to create one galaxy. And then this model is repeated again and again and again, uh, into the entire observable universe, in fact beyond that also. So this is our thinking, and all of this matter is brought together by the star forming elements of the dark matter. So this is our brain. This is how our brain perceive the universe. But I think today I would like to draw your attention about the empty space between galaxies. And when we say that empty space between galaxies, is it really empty? That is the topic of discussion today. And therefore, let me draw your attention that recently the astronomers have seen certain faint glows of the stars in these empty spaces. So as we basically explore further, there is interstellar space that is a space between stars, and then there is intergalactical space. So assumption was that in the intergalactical space there is nothing exists, in the sense that there are no stars, because the gravity is not strong enough to collapse the gas, and also the gas is so rare that the material is and the gravity and the material is not sufficient to bring the lot of material come close and kickstart the formation of stars. That was the thinking, and that is true also. But recently scientists have found that there are certain faint glows of stars which exist in the intergalactical space, and well, it is very difficult to see this. If there are stars available in this area, very difficult to see them, simply because they are very far off and there are very few. So collectively also, as a colony of stars, it's very difficult to look at them. And just to give you an idea how faint they are 50 times fainter than the galaxy nearby. So in case there are stars between the galaxies in the empty space, the um, the point was how they got there, because we know that based on the current understanding that the stars cannot form there. There is not enough gas or material or gravity in those areas. So since the material is missing, the gravity is missing, what phenomena would be causing formation of star? So I think the thing is that now scientists have a very clear idea, especially after studying these faint glows between the galaxies. The scientists believe that these stars were actually born inside the galaxy, and when the galaxy interact with each other, they interact with gravitationally. Even though nearby galaxies don't collide with each other, but they affect each other in the form of gravity, because galaxies are very large objects. They have a huge weight, and they comprise of many stars, billions of stars, and probably billions of black holes. So galaxies are very large objects having lot of gravity, and whenever there are two galaxies passing by each other, even without colliding, there is some sort of interaction that happens. And because of this interaction, the stars which are in the exterior most area of both the galaxies are nudged differently than rest of the stars. And because of this nudging motion, some of the stars can be left behind when the galaxies interact and pass by each other. And so even though stars are born inside the galaxy, because there is sufficient gas, material, gravity to collapse the matter and form a star, but because of these interactions, gravitational interactions among the nearby galaxies or passing by galaxies, some stars can be left behind, or as we speak, they can be orphaned, they can be marooned out of their galaxies, and then they exist in the intergalactical space, which is sort of a void. There is nothing there except a few left away stars. And that is why this finding is exciting, because we used to feel that the stars cannot exist outside the galaxy, but now we see that these stars are not only there, but they have been left behind by galaxies, and there is a complete potential that they can be absorbed by passing by galaxy in future. So there is a lot of activity going on in the intergalactical space, and it is not impossible to explore those stars. And if we have the technology, go to those stars. Maybe those stars may have a planetary system, and maybe some life living in alone in the void of the space. So that is the important part of our discussion today, that we feel that sometimes that the stars are only found in the galaxy, but there could be instances where even black holes and a lot of other material can be found outside the galaxies. And this is true that the star birth happens within the galaxy itself, and there are nebulas and there are material available in the galaxy which will eventually cause gravitational collapse and thus forming the stars. But once the stars are formed, they can be migrated out of one of this weaker interaction within the galaxy, or sometimes the supermassive black hole in the middle of the galaxies can throw a star out. So let's imagine a situation, hypothetical situation, when there are two stars, and these two stars are basically absorbed, or the star system is being absorbed by the central black hole. Then as per the Newton third law, if one of the star falls into black hole first, then the second star will be slingshot outward at a very high speed, because of the when the star disappears in the black hole, the other one will go in the opposite direction at equal and opposite speed. So there could be instances where these stars, high hypervelocity stars, can also be thrown out of the galaxy, and they can exist in the empty space or the void between the galaxies. So I think this is something which is the mystery, and there are many orphaned stars which exist in this wide area, and I think there is a need to study them more. So I have a viewer, Chandra Sen, and he's asking me a question, and he says the glow must be from IGL, which is intra-group light. How would the Earth be affected if the two galaxies collide? What sort of galaxies would it be? Two. Okay, so I think there are two parts of your question, Chandra Sen. That the glow, you are saying that it could be intra-group light. So what does it mean? Well, the light which the astronomers recently seen is using some other techniques, very advanced techniques of interferometer of light, and they have been able to detect this faint glow which is coming from within the galaxies. And in order to study these stars, they have to hide the light coming from the nearby galaxies. Only then, otherwise, if the galaxies are very bright, then these stars' light will be completely overshadowed by the light coming from the galaxies. So first thing in the new technique is they have to hide the nearby galaxies, and then they can see there are stars between the galaxies in a void area. Second is that if the galaxy collide, obviously if the galaxy collide, then the mayhem will get loosened, and we don't know which star will survive in the new galaxy and which will get thrown out. So I think you have a good point that some of these stars can also be thrown out because of the galaxy collisions. So there are several ways of understanding this mystery, and you have very intelligently put this one also, that a collision can also leave the star behind between two galaxies. So I think this is something which is very interesting. So Chandra Sen, thanks for sharing your thoughts, and also being a very valuable viewer for our live streams. So friends, if you have any other question, feel free to send in your comments. And as always, thanks for watching, and I will catch you tomorrow with something more intriguing. Enjoy your space time. Till then, bye bye.